and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavour show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of the UK's second-largest city.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take a stack of sources, like the ones you sent over, and we try to pull out the most interesting insights just for you.
Exactly. And today, we're diving into Ambridge, using an excerpt from a recent episode of The Archers as our base.
Right. And we're really focusing in on these little snapshots of daily life, the conversations, the interactions.
Yeah, everything from, tricky job interviews to the slightly confusing world of online dating. The idea is to unpack these moments, see what they reveal about how people handle things, expected or unexpected.
See what we can learn about human interaction when things get maybe a little awkward.
Precisely, when things go off script a bit.
Okay, so let's start at Grey Gables. There's quite a bit bubbling under the surface there, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. You get those nice little background bits first, like the worry about the horse chestnut tree and that plan for Emma and Ed's anniversary.
Oh, the chocolate brie loaf. Natasha's gift idea.
Yeah, such a sweet detail. But the main thing happening is they're getting ready for interviews, new receptionists needed.
And this is where we meet or hear about Drin, the new manager. Oliver's talking to Lily about him.
Right, and Oliver straight up says Drin's personality is very different from Arnold Boroy, the old manager.
Different how, though? Oliver sounds, I don't know, a bit wary.
Yeah, he does. He calls Drin's style very informal, and he says he's slightly apprehensive about how the interviews might go.
He even calls him a loose cannon. What does that suggest to you about Oliver?
Well, it screams that Oliver likes things orderly, predictable, a certain way of doing things. And Drin sounds like maybe the opposite of that.
So there's tension right away, before they've even started interviewing.
Exactly. And the panel itself gets a shake-up too, right? It wasn't meant to be Lily on it.
No, it was Oliver and Eloise.
Yeah.
But there's a rotor mix-up, classic Ambridge admin, so Eloise is out.
So Oliver asks Lily. She is an as-and-when receptionist, but he wants to avoid an all-male interview panel, which is, fair enough.
And Lily actually says yes, seems quite keen, finds the idea fun.
And fun is such an interesting word choice there, because suddenly you have Oliver, who wants structure, Drin, who's maybe unpredictable.
The loose cannon.
Right. And now Lily, who's approaching it as potentially fun. She knows the job, but has this lighter attitude. How do you think that changes things?
Oh, it feels like it could completely change the energy in the room. 3 really different viewpoints assessing these candidates.
Definitely sets the stage for something interesting.
Okay, let's switch gears completely now. Over to the shop.
Right. Different vibe entirely. Natasha's visiting Helen.
And again, you get those little real-life details first. The shop's busy because the sun's out, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And Natasha's still buzzing about her chocolate brie loaf. Wants to give it to Emma and Ed.
In the tin. For their 10th. A little pun.
Yeah, and hoping it'll, soften the blow of asking Emma to clean the ovens. It's just so specific and human.
It really is. But then the chat turns pretty quickly to Helen and the app.
Yes, the dating app. Natasha's quite persistent, isn't she? Really asking Helen what's happening.
And Helen is clearly reluctant, saying she's really not taking it that seriously. Why do you think Natasha cares so much?
Well, Natasha kind of admits it, doesn't she? She says she needs to live vicariously through Helen.
Ah, right. Because life with little kids means no time for yourselves.
Exactly. It's understandable, really. She wants a bit of that dating drama, even if it's secondhand. So she pushes Helen, asks to see the app.
And Helen eventually caves. That's her look.
And Natasha's immediate reaction is, wow, Helen, you've got loads of interest.
And Helen's response is pure cynicism, isn't it? Starting to think some men just swipe right on everyone.
Classic.
Yeah.
And then we get those brilliant, slightly odd dating profile observations.
Oh, the fish. Why are so many of them holding fish?
It's a phenomenon. And the guy with a shirt off, Helen finds that so off-putting.
It paints such a vivid picture of that online world. The weird trends, the things people think are appealing.
Totally. And then Natasha shares her own story, remember, meeting the guy whose profile picture was ancient.
Oh, God, yes. Taken about 20 years previously. The time catfish.
And she didn't even recognize him, the awkwardness, and him blaming her poor eyesight.
It's funny, but also kind of cringy. It just shows that gap, right,
Yeah.
between the online persona and, well, reality.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It highlights how hard it is to judge someone from a profile. You're trying to figure out who they really are. Kind of like the interview situation, actually.
That's a good point. Different context, similar challenge.
But with maybe even more potential for misleading information online.
Okay, let's jump back to Grey Gables, the first interview. Zanab
Right. Panel assembled. Oliver, Dreen, and Lily.
starts normally enough. Oliver asks about her journey. Standard opening.
But then Zanab says she arrived on her scooter.
And that's the hook for Dreen, isn't it?
Oh, completely. He's instantly fascinated. Calls it sick, amazing, starts firing off questions.
Are they fast? How long have you had it?
Oh.
You can practically feel Oliver trying to keep things on track.
Mm-hmm. Oliver gently tries to steer back, Wonder if we might ask Zanab some questions relating to the reception job.
Trying to regain control. It just perfectly shows that clash of styles. Oliver's structure versus Drin's spontaneity.
And then Dren hits her with his big icebreaker.
Oh, the elephant question. Imagine there's an elephant stuck in my bath. What would you do?
I mean, wow. Peak Dren, perhaps. But Lily actually thinks it's good.
Yeah, she says, oh, Dran, that is good. She's clearly on board with the slightly weirder approach.
And then Lily asks her question. Also, not quite standard HR practice.
Right. Not about dealing with difficult guests, but about her favorite biscuit.
Custard cream, apparently. And Lily adds she herself is extremely adaptable, biscuit-wise.
Yeah.
She explains she wants to know who people really are, not just the technicalities.
So, wow. You've got 3 interviewers asking about job relevance, elephants in baths, and biscuit preferences, all in one interview.
It's unconventional, to say the least. You wouldn't teach that method, probably.
Probably not. But does it tell them anything useful?
Well, that's the question. It's certainly not a standard skills assessment. But maybe it reveals something about personality, adaptability, how someone thinks on their feet.
And interestingly, Zanab herself seemed to like it. She said it was lovely, and she really enjoyed it, even though she'd been nervous.
Which is a point in its favor, maybe. Made the candidate feel good, less intimidated, even if Oliver wasn't getting the answers he expected.
Yeah, that positive reaction is telling. Perhaps the lack of rigidity worked for her.
Could be. It suggests the experience wasn't negative for the applicant, which matters.
So, after Zanab leaves, the panel talks, and generally they agree she was good. Fantastic, did very well.
Oliver still has that reservation, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. He says, I'm still not sure I know very much about how she tackled the reception role. He's hung up on the fact that it was a rather different style of interview.
He didn't get his technical questions answered, basically. He needs that concrete evidence of competence.
Whereas Lily and Drain are much more positive,
Yeah.
Lily thinks she'd be an excellent addition.
And she makes that point about her being Gen Z, so the software won't be an issue. Like, let's just give her a try.
It really shows the split, doesn't it? Oliver wants proven skills based on past experience or direct answers. Lily and Drain seem more focused on potential, personality, maybe just a gut feeling.
Yeah, it's a really interesting glimpse into different hiring philosophies, all playing out in one room. Oliver acknowledges Zanab would be an asset, but he still wants to see the others. Hold judgment.
Okay, right. Let's brace ourselves. We need to go back to the shop. Things are escalating.
Oh yes, the dating app saga continues. Ian pops in briefly, confirms Helen's on a site, which just adds fuel to Natasha's fire, I guess.
Totally. Natasha's immediately asking, have you got a match? All excited?
And then the reveal, Helen has a match. And it's the Martin Gibson.
Martin gives, oh no, Helen is absolutely horrified.
She knows instantly, doesn't she, that Natasha must have accidentally swiped right when she was looking earlier.
The panic is real. Because this isn't some random guy online anymore. This is someone she knows. Someone local.
Exactly. The digital world just slammed right into her real Ambridge life. Her immediate fear is, he thinks I swiped right. He'll think it's a come on.
Oh, the potential for everyday awkwardness is just immense. Running into him.
Mm-hmm. And the brainstorming session about what to do next is just brilliant. So relatable if you've ever sent an awkward message or text.
Option 1, just ignore him. But then, he can see I've read his message. The dreaded read receipts.
Then the super casual, ignore the elephant in the room message. Thank you so much for your lovely message. Hope you're well. Pretending it's not a dating app.
Or the slightly formal, almost businesslike rejection. I'm afraid I'm no longer available.
Which, as Helen says, makes her sound like a holiday let or something.
And then there's the brutal honesty option. I swiped right by accident.
Which Helen thinks would break his heart. Maybe a bit dramatic, but you see her point.
And the joke suggestion. Message him back asking him to meet you in the bowl tomorrow night. Just lean into the absurdity.
But underneath the jokes, Helen is genuinely stressed. This is not funny. I need actual help here.
Yeah, you feel for her. And that final line. I wish I'd never downloaded this stupid app. It started as a bit of pressured fun, and now it's a source of major anxiety.
It's such a perfect example of how low-stakes online actions, like quick swipe, can suddenly feel very high stakes in the real world, especially when your circles overlap like that.
That perceived anonymity just evaporates, doesn't it?
Completely. The app world and the real world are suddenly the same. Very awkward place.
So wrapping this up, we've looked at these different Ambridge moments. We saw really different ways of interviewing people, structured, chaotic, biscuit focus.
Yeah, with scooters and elephants thrown in for good measure.
Yeah.
And then we saw the whole online dating roller coaster, the weird profile trends, the fish photos.
And the sheer panic of accidentally matching with someone you actually know.
Right. And these situations, both the job interviews and the dating app stuff, they really show us how people try to, present themselves and how we try to figure others out.
And just how much random chance can throw a wrench in the works. Accidental swipe, an unexpected question.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? When we're trying to assess someone, whether it's for a job or for a date, how much is about their actual skills or personality?
And how much is just down to, well, luck, or a weird icebreaker, or someone holding a fish in their photo. It's a strange mix of intention and pure chance, really.
It really is. It leaves you thinking about that messy, unpredictable way we connect or try to connect both online and off. How much control do we ever really have?
So what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the archers. Any
Are you what we
movements
call Foley then?
and- kind of. Yep.
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
Yep. That's the bull bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline.
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever